Hi, welcome to week one, business communication and report writing. So the welcome video had went over the syllabus. So this one we're going to go over Blackboard and go into week one. Before you do week one, you should push the start here. And here's the welcoming message. And then here is the video that I just did. And then here's the MindTap Applia. So if you click on that, sometimes you have to make sure that the pop-up blockers aren't on. Um, also, you may have to right-click and put it into a different window or a different tab. Or some people actually have to copy it and then paste it into a new one. So I already have it open. When you open it, it comes down here and gives you some training resources for the unlimited, for the MindTap. We don't do these two, so it's these two that we would do. Okay, so you could get help in learning about those two to decide which one you wanted to purchase. If this is your only class that uses Cengage and you're not going to use Cengage anymore, then you would just want to do the one time. If you have other classes that use Cengage and use MindTap or Applia, then you might want to consider the unlimited. So it's cheaper if you use more than one class. If you're only using it for one class, then it's more expensive and not worth the money. So it all depends on your situation. Okay, so we go back to Blackboard. Okay, and go through that, and then there we go. What is MindTap and Applia? Here's our syllabus again that we just went over. And then here's some important dates: when classes starts, last day to add, last day to drop with a 100% refund, which is also the last day to add, which is Friday the 5th. Last day to drop with a guaranteed W is the 13th. Last day to drop period, July 13th, excuse me, and July 21st. And then final exams. We don't have any exams, so this is not relevant. Your research paper is due the last Saturday of July. And the reason for that is because I need the 3 days after that to grade everyone's research paper, and then because grades are due right away. So that's why I don't extend it into exam times, because it does take a very long time to grade. I think we have 30 students, and to grade 30 research papers accurately, it's going to take quite a bit of time. So I wanted to make sure I had the time to do it accurately and give you as much time as possible for each paper. And so that's why we ended the last Saturday of July. So let's go into week one. Okay, so week one is chapter 1 and 2. So here's chapter 1 PowerPoints that we'll start there. And then here's the Applia slash MindTap. So let's go into this. And there it is. There we go. Okay, so this is what you should see, or at least something similar to this. So you'd want to do expand all. Okay, and then here's all the different exercises. Here's a succeed in social mobile workplace reading. Here's a workplace connection video. So these are all things that you can do to learn more about the chapter, that should cover it in more depth. Here's the lecture slides, which is probably very similar to the PowerPoints that I have on Blackboard. And then the ones with the orange circle are the ones that count for your grade. Okay, so in chapter 1, there's 3 different ones that count for a grade. It's not really a practice quiz, it's a real quiz because it counts 7 points towards your grade. And here's the Apply assignment, and here's the video activity communication skill assignment. Okay, so all 3 of these are due by Saturday at 11:59 p.m. And then also, that's chapter 1. Chapter 2 is down here. Now, chapter 2 just has 2 with orange circles. So these two, the practice quiz, which again is a quiz, which is, I hit it a little bit too hard. And it's going to pop up. This is what it's going to look like. And then start assignment now if you want to, and then you start the quiz. Okay. And then the other, you're going to go back or not? Okay. if you just do this, you might miss some things. So it's better to expand all, so that nothing is hidden for you. Okay, and then once you finish the quiz, then you can do the Apply assignment. And like I said, you can do the flashcards, you can do all the other things beforehand to help you with the actual assignment. And then if you go in there and you can see what the actual assignment is, just 6 questions, attempts, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so it says here, how's my score calculated? Progress attempted. It's not going to show the same for me as it does for you because I can't take the test. But your assignment will come up with that. Okay, so that's how you do the Applias / MindTap assignments and quizzes, and they are due at the end of the week, 11:59 on Saturday, along with your textbook assignment. So here, PowerPoints we're going to go over a little bit. Here's the MindTap Applia. You only have to click one, and when you do expand all, these are all the things that come up. Okay, I did all separate ones to show you what they are, but you only have to click on one, and then it takes you right to where I showed you. Okay, then there's Chapter 2 PowerPoint, and then all of Chapter 2's Applia / MindTap things. Again, you already saw them when you expand all, but I have a duplication so that you don't miss anything, hopefully. Here is the discussion board for chapters 1 and 2. Comment on one of the learning outcomes in either chapter 1 or chapter 2, which is page 2 and 36. So on page 2 and on page 36, you'll see learning outcomes for chapter 1 and chapter 2. And so your comments must be a minimum of 100 words, including the learning outcome you're discussing. The original thread entry is due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. And then your 2 responses to 2 different students, 1 response for 2 different students for a total of 2 responses, is due Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Okay? The reason I do this is to make sure everybody has enough time to read other students' comments, and then pick which 2 you want to make comments on, and then make those comments. Also, you must respond to, it should say 2, not 3 there, students' entries with a minimum of 50 words each. Okay, so for a total of 100 words. So your 2 responses have a minimum of 100 words, 50 words each, and your initial response has a minimum of 100 words. So the minimum total per week is 200 words on the discussion board. Okay, and I'll have to go back and correct that then. So it should say 2 students, 2 responses, and it's the same every week. So it's always going to be 1 initial response, 1 initial entry due Wednesday night, 100 words minimum, 2 entries responding to 2 different students, 1 entry per student, 50 words each minimum, due Saturday night at 11:59. Okay, and then the week 1 assignment is due again Saturday 11:59. Complete the learning outcomes that are found on the first page of chapter 1, page 2, and chapter 2, page 36. 1-word document. You must include, you must write in the same format, an example on page 48. Your document must include your name, the class assignment, that would be on the subject line, and my name, that would be on the to each statement you're addressing, and then your answers. Okay, this is all done in a Word document, by the way, and you'll see the format. This might sound a little cryptic right now, but when you read chapters 1 and 2, you'll see what I'm referencing in the examples in chapters 1 and 2. Okay, so reading it right now may sound confusing, but read the chapter and then it should be clear about what I'm asking for. Okay, answers are paraphrased, not a quote. Your answers must be paragraph form, as it shows in the first example on page 48. And you're required to answer each of the bullet statements questions for the chapters assigned that week. Okay, so again, please read the chapter and do the MindTap / Applia assignments, and then it should be a lot more clear about what I'm asking for. So let's look at the PowerPoints here. Okay, so this is how it'll come up, and you have chapter 1 and chapter 2 this week. I've already pulled it up here. Okay, so here is chapter 1, Business Communication Ethics. And I'm not going to read these all to you, probably only a couple, because it's 46 total, and it really is up to you as to how much you want to read with them, what you need to do to learn the chapter, and be able to answer the questions. Um, here it talks about strong communication skills, your key to success, most desirable competencies in an employer's view, critical to effective job placement, performance, and career advancements. If you can't communicate with your colleagues, your subordinates, and your superiors, your direct report, then they won't understand what you're trying to convey, and it may make you inefficient or ineffective, may hurt the project that you're working on or your daily activities. And then career sifter to see who can communicate well, and normally the people that communicate well have a better opportunity than the ones that do not communicate well. Okay. What are communication skills? Media savvy, credibility, analytical thinking, teamwork, position requiring people skills, more likely to resist automation. In other words, many jobs are being automated. The ones that require the personal touch, people skills, are the ones that are the hardest to automate. So you have a better opportunity to retain your employment in the jobs where it has a lot of people interaction that it's difficult to automate. Traditional is reading, listening, nonverbal, speaking, and writing. And you already lived through the digital revolution. And then it goes into workplace survival skills, how communication would work. And then the soft skills, many employers talk about the soft skills, critical thinking, excellent oral and written communication, ability to work in teams, positive social media presence, professionalism, and work ethic. Okay, so that's what they're talking about, the soft skills. Hard skills are like actually producing the products, if you're in accounting, if you're actually doing the spreadsheets and things like that. Okay, and chapter 2. Here are the learning outcome, understanding the 5 steps in the communication process. And here's the 5 steps. The sender has an idea. You encode the message. You send the message by selecting the most effective channel to do it. It could be talking, that would be a channel. It could be email. It could be Zoom, video conferencing, whatever the channel you wish to send it through. Then you send it over. Then the person receives and decodes the message, and then feedback to the sender, and then it starts all over. Okay, so this is the communication process. Okay, and then usually it continues. That's what this whole conversation is. By encoding, when you have an idea, your idea is basically electrical impulses in your brain. And then those electrical impulses are encoded in language. Okay, and so it could be written language, verbal language. And if you're if you see the person, many times the words that are spoken aren't as important as facial expressions, physical expressions, as far as whether they're open or closed, or are they constantly looking around. All the visual clues that you're getting that may contradict what they're actually saying, or help you understand what they're actually saying. If you ever watch shows with nerdy scientists, they don't really get sarcasm very well because they don't read people very well. So that's part of the communication process, is being able to read all of the signs. Okay, and that's what this whole chapter is about, is this communication process. So if you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, you're off and running on the first week. Congratulations. I look forward to reading your assignments and seeing how you're doing. Hope you have a great week.